Oh, yeah, that's been a while, hasn't it? Hi, Alicia.
How are you?
All right, thanks. But I haven't been to California for a week.
Yeah, I feel like I literally just slid off the plane and right back into it. So here I am.
Amazing.
It was quite the adventure, that's for sure.
How wonderful. What an opportunity. Or, yeah, it was a holiday, really, wasn't it?
It was a holiday, yes. It was with my guy. I'm putting us on here in case anyone has questions. So I'm putting us here. I do this every week, but oh, there we are. Yeah, it was we went to Los Angeles and we drove along Big Sur and into San Francisco. And I was saying to my weekly group yesterday, um, not for the faint of heart energetically, if you're as connected as I am to sort of, go there, right? Like,
Yes.
um, but when my partner Max said, this is where I really want to go, and I didn't think I'd want to go back to LA because I was there once years ago prior to me being awake, and I hated it. Yeah, yeah. So I really, but when he said it, I'm like, okay, well, the whole world has changed, and if you're saying it, it means I'm supposed to be there. We're supposed to be there. So, and I ended up loving Los Angeles. I did feel the energy, but it didn't feel, I can't really describe it. I had work to do, clearly.
Right.
Clearly.
That's
Um,
not what you were there for, but you just
oh,
felt you had to.
yes, but I feel like I want to say this because I think that a lot of people need to hear this right now. Um, the work for us that are aware right now and have been doing the work and understand what's happening and understand our own energy bodies and what we need. The work isn't crazy hard clearing ritual, blah blah blah. It's different. When you've attuned yourself, um, yeah, you're called, you're called in. I've been called in for 8 years, right? And at the beginning, it felt like psychic attack, which it probably was, when I was called to do grid work or whatever you want to call it, okay, or clearing or anything like that. Um, so it kind of goes with the territory, but yeah, it was intense energy. Actually, I found San Francisco to be even more intense and actually quite difficult. I didn't anticipate that, to be honest. Um, but the where I am now is, first of all, I'm not in fear. So clearing or grid work or any dark entities or beings or even darkness doesn't scare me the way that it used to, because I understand that I have a role to play and that I'm fully supported. And, I call in the support that I need. Any kind of what would have presented as psychic attack. So any of you who still, sort of get sick out of nowhere, headaches out of nowhere, nausea out of nowhere, yeah, that's a psychic attack. However, what it is your body reacting to what's in your field.
Hmm.
So it's even better not to even call it psychic attack anymore, but like a tap on the shoulder, like you're needed for some reason. Either something's in your field or something needs to be cleared from you or something's affecting you, right? And so when I had those, so for me, it presents as sort of a little dizziness, a little nausea, a feeling of like really ungroundedness. I used to carry around before I was awake and understood what a psychic attack was. I used to carry around gravel, right? Which is like an anti-nausea. Like I was afraid, or an anti-migraine medicine. I used to have dreams that I'd be away and I wouldn't have my migraine medicine. Well, I haven't had a migraine in 8 years.
Oh, my goodness, that's amazing.
Well, it's amazing because it was psychic attack. So basically, or it was something in my field that
Right.
my body was trying to show me, right? So it's about, and I think it's important to talk about this actually right now from the perspective of what's
Yeah.
happening, because we as empaths, light workers, whatever you want to call yourself, we're here to actually show up and do that. And so I don't spiral anymore. if I really feel ungrounded and I'm like, oh, this is not good, I don't feel good, I don't know what this is. If that happens, I do have help. I can call for help. But and I call for help all the time with my team, right? And they always show up. So first of all, I was able to have a vacation last week and really enjoy myself and have so much fun in a place that probably could have been perceived. I mean, look what's happening in the world right now. Look at how, people are like, oh, don't go to the US, blah, blah, blah. I had a freaking mad, fabulous time. And like it was beautiful. Beaches and, you know, just
Is your
amazing.
guy, is it Max, did you say?
Yeah.
Did he did he just go with the flow, or is he worried?
Oh,
Does he
yeah.
worry a bit?
He's been with me, well, I've been with him for 14 years now. So he was with me through my whole awakening. So which is also something else to say. If it's easier when you have support around you. Does he honestly believe or want to know about everything that I do?
Mm.
Probably not. Not probably not. He'll be like, you know, I know he kind of knows, but not kind of, he knows, but does he really
Oh,
want to know I'm talking to aliens and, clearing satanic energy and, no, not,
no.
no, no. Yeah. And there's a certain level of, where it's like, okay, all right, we're going to stop here. Past lives, for example, the things that, and I had an interesting past life experience coming into San Francisco that was part of what I needed to clear, which was also interesting.
Oh.
Yes. And so did he actually in LA. And I told him that, but I think he kind of knows.
Oh, really? And that
Yeah.
is the thing. I do sometimes think they do actually know, but don't want to know too
Mhm.
much. Yeah.
Would you say that about Joe too?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Not quite where Max is, I would think, but certainly, I mean, always if there's anyone that's not got my best interest at heart and have invited themselves here, and I'm very kind and nice and want to be good and all of that and help others, where but he's known straight away, and he can actually be very rude to someone if he knows that they're just taking advantage.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not. No. I mean, I feel terrible at the time it happens. It's only happened 3 times, really.
And
Um,
I was really like that too, Jackie, before all of my development, my boundaries and all the things. And Max would be the same. He would know. He would basically say you're too nice, or you trust everyone, or he doesn't say those things anymore because he knows I have the boundaries now.
that's brilliant. I mean, I've talked a lot about boundaries in the last year. Did the talk with Tim January last year, all about boundaries. He's been such a help. You know, yeah, I've told you before, didn't I? My son come home from school. I mean, we're going back a few years, but he said, if you say gullible slowly, it sounds like orange. And I went, gullible.
Oh, that's amazing.
Absolutely. I've never forgotten that. But anyway, and then when you start to awaken to all what's gone on, it just made me realise how just how gullible it can be or could be.
Well, and I think that comes from, a genuine place. I don't think, I know it comes from a genuine place that, we just really want the best for everybody, and we are full of love, and we are, but that can get you tripped up a little bit if, and then this is a good message for anyone that may be listening to this right now. You can still be full of love like Jackie. And, I've clearly I'm full of love as well, but you also have to be a little bit of a tough nut to do what you're here to do.
Yeah. Well, I had a chap here this morning. He was putting a new like we've been in this house since '88, and it was new when we moved in, so they were still painting the hall the day we moved in. And so the boiler thing that's in the airing cupboard has been there all that time. So he was in putting a new one in, which we definitely needed. And so we were chatting away while he was doing that, and I said, "Are you a flat earther, Steve?" He said, oh, am I what? And then we had a marvelous, really interesting conversation about flat Earth.
Oh, well, that's
You
good.
know,
That's
and
fun.
my thoughts around that, because I never was open to that idea. I
No,
don't need to go down that line, but and he said, oh,
no.
Jackie, you got such a good heart.
Right. Well, I think being open to the possibility of a different reality than you ever knew about or was willing to accept. And I think
Yes,
that's the difference. That's,
yes.
and truthfully, I have felt very much that I am not attached to any one thing. It's either this or either that in the last couple of years because I have learned that's polarity and that's, exactly what's
Exactly. And
keeping
we
us
don't
stuck.
know, do we?
No,
But
we don't.
yeah.
No, and the
Mhm.
truth is what that brings us always back to is funny enough what, Joe has is trusting his gut, right? Like,
Yes.
he trusts his gut. He
Yes.
knows and that's intuition.
But it
That's pretty
also comes back to the course that or the 6 week thing that we're doing about knowing ourselves, because I'm learning all the time as well. This came from, so Alicia's going to be my first guest. I'm doing a 6 week course on a 6 week journey back to ourselves because everyone's saying we have the answers within.
we do.
But when you hear that, you think, do I really? Because we still look outside of ourselves. I mean, still. I
Mhm.
can do that easily. But you come back to yourself and you know that you do have the answers within. So I did a talk recently at the Mind Body Spirit Fair and it was on happiness. So all my talks recently, when I've gone out and done any talks, it's all usually Ho'oponopono. And they're all very linked. It's all like a spider's web, really. Um,
Mhm.
very similar things that come up within that. But this one, I was asked if I'd talk about happiness because last year I did the Ho'oponopono there. And so I did this, and it was a real joy to do the happiness talk again, that I hadn't done for so long. And then you start looking through all your old stuff and that I used to really enjoy. And I thought, oh, I want to share this again, um, because there's so much we've learned over the time. And then it come to me, so I put that out as a 6 week course, Journey Back to Yourself. But then I thought, do you know all the guests that I've had on, um, people that I know, you've learned so much, as you're always saying, as we all do, that we can share with others. So bless him, Tim Wild's going to be along for I'll put the um, flyer up while I'm saying about this.
Yes, it's I loved that how it all kind of came together for you because the other thing is, specifically right now during this time, our vibration is everything.
Yeah,
So there's two things that I feel that everyone needs to understand right now, which is why this journey back to you is the most important messaging that you could put out there right now is your vibration, your happiness, if whatever it is that you have to do to get yourself there in a world that's chaotic and that's going up and down and all the things, if you come back to yourself, if you come back to trusting yourself, if you know how to care for yourself, if you are aware of the ways that you self-sabotage, if you are aware of, where you may need extra boundary work or that sort of thing, and that you most importantly feel worthy enough,
yes.
that's the piece, right?
Oh
That
gosh,
that
yeah,
literally will change the world,
absolutely.
literally. And if you come back to yourself, just like I would say, Jackie, you and I have both done that journey and we're still on it,
Of
right?
course, yeah, never stop
Um,
learning.
No, however, if you look at it, and that is what the journey is, it's coming back to you. Nobody's coming in to save you. They always say that, right? And it's
Exactly.
true
Yeah,
because we truly do save ourselves. And if we save ourselves, we save everyone else around us. That's literally how it works. So the timing couldn't be more perfect for this journey. So tell me a little bit about what all the guests are going to talk about because you've got quite a lineup.
Oh, honestly, I'm so pleased with this. Oh, I didn't go on to share for that. I'll just go back because I've got it open ready. Um, just come back to you and then share. So
And we'll make
yeah.
sure we put the details too in the comments.
Oh,
For sure.
without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
So each week, the first one I'm going to be explaining, my journey as much as anything with happiness, then Ho'oponopono, the Enneagram, all the different things that I've been fortunate enough to find out about that's helped me, because ultimately you want to be at peace with yourself. You're listening and scrolling and looking at all of these things, and really you just want to be at peace and not distracted by so much. So yeah, the first week is like an introduction to what we'll be talking about over the weeks. But yeah, so Alicia's going to be my first guest on self-acceptance. When you said just now about self-worth, it's everything. And then you think, well, if you haven't got self-worth, because I didn't have self-worth, I had no idea or understanding of what even that meant, to be honest, for
Mhm.
many, many years, I would say. Because you're brought up to, I'll come back a minute, I'll come back to that in a minute, but you are brought up to look at others, no, through no fault of family, but you are looking after others. So that doesn't bring the self-worth to self. Um, yeah, it's very interesting, really, when you look at all of this. So yeah, go back to that a minute.
It's becoming really interesting for me from seeing everything from that lens as I, do my group work or individual one-on-one sessions, or even just sort of listening to people around me. I find that I'm really acutely attuned now to the way that they say their words. Like I can't do this, or I
Yes,
always have this, or I find like I can't unhear it now, you
absolutely.
know?
Yeah.
And and
And
it's
it's
just it's
given more
amazing.
awareness.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing that I mean, we don't even realize,
without a doubt.
that we truly I don't even think most of us really even understand what self-worth really means, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, so just to get that understanding. So yeah, you're joining me in week 2, and I've incorporated your skills because you have got
Mm.
so many skills in chakra balancing, energetic protection, past life and ancestral healing, intuitive mentorship. Not that you're bringing all of that into it, but with the people that join us on the course, if
Mhm.
any of that comes into it, then you're able to give
Yes,
your wisdom on what you've learned through your journey. And then
yes.
that's the same with Tim Wilde, with relationships as mirrors. That's a whole big, big, big subject. Even with German New Medicine, relationships in our life is everything and how they mirror us. So he'll be talking about um, relationships drawn on his experience as an ascension worker, an author, and a crystal expert. It brings all of everyone's, what their real skill is. I'll just talk about Ashley Oliver because people might not know Ashley. I've done a talk with Ashley. I need to really because she
Yes.
invited me onto her show. Yeah, and that was really so yeah, emotions and gratitude. And she's a reverend, but I've seen her marry a couple of my friends, Kate and Colin. She did the ceremony for that, but a spiritual ceremony. And so when we do the Mind Body Spirit Fair, she always comes along and she's booked out the whole day for her readings because she's so compassionate, understanding, but she also gives connection, but also direction, a little bit of direction in where you are. And, so yeah, she'll bring all of that into her week, especially talking with emotions and how that affects our emotions. And
That's a big topic,
well,
very big
yeah,
topic.
because
Yeah.
we've done a talk about the emotion code and emotion. So yeah, that is a big one. And then Emily Teague's only just come into my awareness in the last few weeks, actually, well, a couple of months. Um, and goodness me, I was so impressed with her, how many women she's helped with falling pregnant naturally without going through IVF. So
Mhm.
she's very much into, but she's so intuitive. and what she's learned along the way. So spiritual counseling, energy work, EFT.
I'm so
Um,
excited to meet these two, Emily and Ashley. I
Ashley,
haven't met them yet. Very excited.
absolutely. And then you couldn't believe when I said I've got Alexander Quinn for week 6.
That,
I mean,
that's
yeah,
pretty exciting.
bless his heart, yeah. I haven't got the picture, but I've got a picture with Alexander when he was down in Lyndhurst with us when we were standing on in the park. Forgiveness and returning to you. So sort of circles back and brings it all together. But
Mhm.
he's, you know, very well known in the ascension spectrum.
Yes, and his story himself itself, from what I
Yes.
remember, even the fact that he was able to come out and do the work that he does in the world, and this is something that all of us, I think, would say, without that self-worth, without those boundaries, without that coming back to themselves, someone like Alexander Quinn, or even myself, or Tim, or any of us really, wouldn't be able to stand, on our, in the places of leadership that we are today, because if we didn't believe in ourselves, that we couldn't have helped anybody else. And I do remember, I think I heard of Alexander talk about his journey at some point, and what he does, to some people can look, really strange and odd, and I hid my own gifts for the first few years, literally had a business card with my tiny little details, and I think it's because I was afraid to be seen.
Of course, because you are to start with, without a doubt. You're overthinking what other people will be thinking when we've got it's none of our business at all.
No, and when we come back to ourselves and we really trust ourselves, you're not giving your power away to someone else to tell you who you are or what you're worth, or, all of those things. So I think every one of the guests that you're bringing to this, as well as yourself, brings such a strong foundation, that they have done the work to come back to themselves. And that's why they are able to shine their light in the world with confidence and love and strength.
And within that, it's going to be, we're in a Zoom room. It's not a recorded thing that you're just watching. You're in the room with the people and able to ask questions or, share what you want to share. There'll be an opportunity for that. £12.50 a week it works out on the
Right?
early
And to have access directly to
to those
that group of
people.
people, wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm
It,
delighted.
yes, and it also sort of shows you, Jackie, just how much you are loved and supported within this community. And I know you have been such a critical part of bringing a lot of people together, and what you do in bringing, new voices to the table, and it's just really powerful. And I think that this 6-week journey is a beautiful combination of everything. I'm so excited. Thank you for
Oh,
inviting me. Very excited to be part of it.
I'm very grateful that you could join us anyway. Yeah, but I mean, well, I don't even remember how we got talking together, but just how you've helped so many people that have come to you from this platform, but so many anyway. Yeah, just incredible. It's somehow because you did that with me, a 2-hour session or hour and a half session recently,
Mm.
cutting cords, realizing where. Yeah, very good. I can't say anymore. Yeah,
Mhm.
but yes, I was just so pleased that I thought of doing that um, after doing this happiness talk. And then this week on Monday night, I was invited to go to Fareham and do a talk on Ho'oponopono. But
Mm.
it brings it all in, you just
Yes.
end up talking about all different things that you know about through the conversation. And that's the thing. I know it's not in person, and that was in person on Monday, but when it comes to forgiveness, that's a really big topic. And straight away, there was a lady there, and she told me, and this often happens, whether we're online or in person, that someone will say, but how could you ever forgive this? And I
Yes.
totally get that. And we've all understood, it's been a forgiveness journey for me along the way,
Mm.
to realize the importance of forgiveness. And I know we've all heard this, but I did say to her, you do realize you're telling your cells, every cell in your body is listening to you. And
Mm.
you're holding such anger, resentment, and upset about this particular person. Your cells are hearing that. So you're drinking the poison and expecting the other person to die who's got no idea what you're thinking. They
Mm-mm.
will have their own, when they pass over, they'll have their own selves to answer to.
Yeah. Yes.
If it
Yes.
doesn't happen before, they will, I would think, have to reckon for themselves, judge themselves. I think that's what we do when we pass over. And, hopefully, oh, I will just read this out because this is amazing that a girl sent me the other day. I did put it on Facebook and
Yeah, there's so much happening right now, specifically energetically, that again, I'm going to circle right back to what I said at the beginning. Your vibration is everything. If you put it in the perspective of, the trip I just took, if I was in the vibration that, California was a terrible place and all of these things happen there and blah, 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 then my experience would have probably, been indicative of that. But because I went in knowing that I was called there now for a reason, and that, where I am in my timelines and in my life is very different than it would have been. And just being there was just so beautiful, but that was because I was able to hold that frequency and trust it, right? And so your vibration is everything. If you hold
absolutely.
anger, if you hold resentment, if you hold deep fears around, deep fear is a big one. Fear is a really big one.
Oh,
And they're really trying out there
oh,
to
absolutely.
hammer down the fear, right? Like they're really trying. Um, and literally, once you learn to just come back to yourself, unplug from any of that, witness what you need to witness. You're not being, I don't, I know I'm not ignorant. I know I witnessed, truly witnessed a few times on that journey what I needed to witness so that I could help transmute it. But then right away, I was right back into gratitude, and so much gratitude for being there with Max and the beautiful scenery and all of it, where I am in my life, and so I think it's really important right now that we all come back to ourselves and we understand that our own vibration is everything, and you're the one in charge of it. You're the
Yes.
one in charge of it.
Yeah,
It's you.
absolutely. So Ella sent this through to me the other day, and I just thought it was so beautiful. So I did share it, and many saw it, but there'll be people that's watching this that might not. And so I think this for everyone as well, because what I was saying to that lady the other night when she's holding such anger and resentment, if we were all, and I did read this out as well while I was there, if could you imagine if we were walking around, so just with Ho'oponopono, when you're saying I love you and thank you, if that was in your aura all day long, I love you, thank you, all day long, can you imagine everybody's aura as we're going around, love it, just be, but anyway, what Ella's saying, by the infinite power within me, I call forth a radiant new world, a world where every person is healthy, joyful, deeply loved, and free to thrive. A world overflowing with beauty, kindness, abundance, and limitless possibilities, where hearts are open, souls are awakened, and every human being is supported, valued, and cared for. I manifest a reality where love guides us, peace surrounds us, and unity lifts us higher, where we honor one another with compassion, respect, and understanding, celebrating the truth of who we are without fear or limitation. May we rise together into a life of harmony, authenticity, and collective abundance, where happiness flows freely, nature flourishes, and humanity shines in its highest light. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just so beautiful. If people are looking at the world that we're going towards, but I mean, as if it's already here,
Mm-hmm.
but also knowing and loving themselves on the way. Wow, what a world.
Yes, what a world. And I don't think we're sitting here saying that it's all rainbows and butterflies. That's not what we're saying. Um, However, I feel that it is sweeter, the those joyful moments, those proof points, those the abundance. I can say on the other side from the, journey that I've been on personally, that it is sweeter. It
Mhm.
is more joyful. And, the other thing that you'll find once you clear, let's just say the shadow from yourself, okay, whether that's your own judgment or your own fears or whatever trapped emotions you're holding or all the things, beliefs, programs, and not to say that we're not still plugged in. Sometimes, of course, we are, we're human. But what you'll find is, that your team of, higher self, source, the universe, your guides will start showing you the proof. And if you have eyes to see that proof, wow, there is not more of a miracle to find those little snippets of proof. But if you don't believe that it's happening, you won't see that proof. And that proof comes in. I mean, they're funny. Like my team is funny. I'll give you like a little tidbit of proof. I feeling a little tired this morning. I was in my dream space last night and I was still doing some cleanup work, it seems, in the San Francisco area during my dream space. So I woke up feeling kind of heavy. And I'm back to doing my one-on-one sessions because I'm back to Hawaii next week. What a beautiful dream that is. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I am living the dream, right? And it is that much sweeter. But feeling tired, feeling a little bit heavy about, what I was doing last night, what I had, was helping with, and just feeling kind of tired. And I don't know if I've ever told you this, but when a certain group of my team want to get in touch with me, and it usually has to do with love, I hear Whitney Houston. Have I ever
Oh,
told you
yes.
that?
Yes.
So I haven't heard her in a while, and I, did my own clearing this morning. It's not responsible not to do that when you're doing one-on-one sessions or coming here live with you, Jackie. So I was doing all the things, but I still wasn't feeling, my energy back. Okay, I was still feeling kind of heavy, and I wanted to move that. And all of a sudden, I heard higher love in my mind. Whitney Houston, and I'm like, what? And I hadn't heard from her in a while, so they're funny. And I actually messaged because I have two friends of mine that also hear her and also know that whenever Whitney comes in that it's a group of them that are here. My Lemurian team usually comes in and it's usually Whitney that shows me. I don't know why it's Whitney, but it is. And I messaged my friend this morning and I said, because I told her I was feeling a little heavy. And I said, oh, and now Whitney Houston's Higher Love is in my head. She like called me right away. She's like, "Oh my God, I've heard it like 5 times in the last 24 hours." And I didn't hear it. I just heard it in my head.
Oh,
So, like the miracles, the synchronicities, but you have to be open to it. If I didn't know that and that song didn't come into my head, and no, I didn't hear it anywhere. I was blow drying my hair,
I
But
love
it's
that.
funny. It's funny and it's uplifting and there's so many things. I heard a dear friend of mine, my assistant Ildiko, gave me a really beautiful announcement yesterday. I can't share publicly because that wouldn't be fair. But then I saw these, I'll give you a hint, but I saw these two beautiful blue butterflies while she was telling me this news while I was in the forest. And like,
Yeah.
you just can't make that up. I mean, I'm sure you can pretty much know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but recently found out some news and these two beautiful butterflies were like
Oh,
floating around. And I mean, these are the things. And if you're in that vibration to receive that, so if you're in that vibration to expect that, that's
exactly.
everything.
Exactly. I'm just going to read this because when I said that we were going to be on here at 4 o'clock and I just said, how's everyone feeling? One put cold. She's cold. And it is cold actually over here at the minute, at
It
quite cold.
is.
But Colette's put, thanks, Jackie. I feel like I can't wake up today. And that's you said about
That's
tiredness.
exactly how I felt. Yeah.
Definitely had enough sleep, incredibly tired with a fog in my head. Not usual at all. Looking forward to seeing you both later. Lovely. Thank you, Colette. Yeah, there was another one, but I can't see it there.
I've
Uh,
had multiple reach outs too. A lot of people saying extreme fatigue, feeling a little down, feeling the term soul tired. And you know what, maybe share here on the comments if any of this is sort of resonating with you, because that also helps. I brought my weekly group together yesterday, and just hearing that everybody, what everyone's struggling through, and it seems always to be similar, helps. And so when you understand that that's an energy in itself that you can actually shift, um, just
and
that
when you're all
recognizing.
together, you lift each other up anyway, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure we've lifted some people up today just in this conversation, right?
Oh,
And
without, yeah, yeah,
yeah, so look, so my advice is to, yes, share how you're feeling. It does help other people. Um, and feel the feeling. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay. Anger is a call to action, right? um if you're feeling guilt, that's something that you need to recognize, because guilt doesn't help you any. Guilt has such a low vibration, right? So that's not helpful to you. There's no call to action, but the feeling of guilt itself is a call to action, because that means you're storing something somewhere, or there's
absolutely.
something in your field, right?
And within that, 6-week course, for instance, we would look at that because you want to find out, realize that nothing in the past is now going to affect your future.
Mm-mm.
Literally just being present in this now moment. We're just running old tapes and old programs. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was out with friends earlier this week. We all went out for breakfast together, a very unusual thing, and I said about having a new kitchen cupboard doors put in. And one of them said, "Oh, how much is that costing?" And when I said the price, I could feel the energy thinking, "Oh, I wouldn't have expected it to be that much." And then I
Right.
woke up in the night that night thinking, "I wish I hadn't told them." And my mind started going round and round. And then I thought, how ridiculous. It
Well,
doesn't
what
matter.
you noticed is that you were in the loop.
Yes, exactly. And then just, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you, cleared, went back to zero peace, went back to sleep. But yeah, the night time's the worst when you can start overthinking things.
Yeah.
Because
So
it has
right
no
now,
impact.
the biggest focus for everybody, and yes, you know what we are going through, there is human resonance shifting, there is timeline shifting, but just keep in mind that your fields have been developed, and you've grown them and you've healed them to be able to use it as a catalyst for growth. It's not, these frequencies, these energies, they're not coming to attack you. It's your body literally saying, hey, I'm going to give you some more information here now, right? It's your physical body, it's your mental body, it's your emotional body. They're showing up for you, wow, what an amazing um, human we are,
We are.
it.
We absolutely are. And that's another thing that I will just say. We are wonderful, absolutely perfect, but our memories are imperfect. So
Yes.
it's our memories that need cleaning.
Yes, for sure. Clearing. And it takes practice. Okay.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
don't get here overnight. I mean, your journey has been what, 20 plus years? Mine's been a minimum of probably around 10 that I'm conscious of anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly it was my whole life, but 10 that I'm
Well,
conscious.
absolutely. But you can sort of place certain times that really things started to change. I broke my leg in 97, but really things didn't start to change for me until 2010. Um,
Yeah.
that was a big learning thing between 97 and 2010. And then I was aware I could look back and see how I'd grown in that time. Yeah, it was
Right.
very, yeah.
And so the other thing is now I know we have to come off now, but
Yeah.
that there's so much more content out there. You talk about social media being a bad thing, but it's garbage in, garbage out, right? Or light in, light out. So, making sure that if you're called to, be part of a program or watch YouTube videos or someone on social media and they're making you feel good, or you're feeling lighter, or you're learning, or new information is coming to you, that's light. Yeah, it's coming through you through a channel of social media or through a screen, but that's light. And it's just so simple to think, how did this chat that Alicia and Jackie just did, how did that make me feel?
Yes.
Did it confirm something? Did it make me shift the way I was thinking about something? And back to practice. Okay, we have to practice because we humans have been programmed, and our bodies, our beautiful bodies, have been developed through our lives in order to be safe and over here. And now we have access to all of these other densities and dimensions, and our body's still going, well, I don't know what to do with that, right? So practice listening to if this resonates, find more content if you want to still be on social media like this.
Mm.
Be part of a program over a period of time that helps you grow and learn and remember, and actually incorporate and integrate and embody the things that you're learning, as opposed to just reading a book and saying, oh, that was fun, and putting it away. Build on it. Just keep building on it. It's the little victories, it's the little shifts, it's the little confirmations that, oh, I recognized that I was looping there. Those are huge
Absolutely. And you
wins.
will look back. Every single person would look back and say, oh, do you know, I've come a long way actually.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
appreciate yourself for what you have done and been through and
Yeah.
achieved. And
And
yeah.
actually, that's Tally just posted here. Thank you both. You help us so much. And I just want to call out to Tally because I've worked with her. She comes into my groups now for, I think
Oh,
it's been a year now. And she literally said what you just said yesterday in our group call, that she was so proud of herself, and I'm so proud of her, that she recognized that she was maintaining her vibration and keeping her light, even though it seemed everything else around her, everyone else around her, was not, and that she was proud of herself. I
brilliant.
thought that was so amazing. I said, wow, that's a way to actually acknowledge that to be proud of yourself, and you should be. You
Yes.
should be. I am proud of myself every day, and I'm sure you are, Jackie. And it's taken perseverance and it's taken work, but I've shifted. I won't react in the ways that I have in the past. I'm only going to improve and get better and better and better from here. And we can all do
Absolutely.
it. And
Yeah.
we can all do this. Yeah.
But if you want to come on the journey that we're going to be on, that will start on June the 2nd, every Tuesday evening for 6 weeks.
Yes. And
And
I'm going
yeah,
to do my best to attend every one of the sessions because I'm excited about all your other
brilliant.
guests too.
Brilliant. Yeah, good. Good.
Yes. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
be attending too. Yeah. For, I think it's $12 a week or £12 a week, you said. I mean,
12.50. It works out on the early price. After May 22nd, it's going to £15 a week, which is
yeah.
90 total.
You're going to have direct access to these amazing,
It's
people.
just, I just think that's, quite a good price really, because you could do a whole session, an hour session with some people and pay that for 1 hour. So yeah,
Even a group session,
absolutely.
some of them are charging, and they're worth it. That's the
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
without a
So
doubt. Yeah,
yeah, so the energy and the people, and I just want to credit you, Jackie, because you're the one has collected this group, and it's going to be an amazing program, and I'm excited to help you even, bring some of these teachings together after, you
brilliant.
know, and
Just never
yeah,
know where anything takes you.
yeah, it's going to be pretty amazing. I'm sure about that for sure.
So I'm away next week. You're away next week. So it's going to be a couple of weeks now. But anyway, wonderful speaking with you again, Alicia. Thank you.
You too, Jackie. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, anyone watching, as always.